Yeah, so my name's Simon Robertson. I'm a dental practitioner in North Somerset. I work full time in the dental clinic Portishead. So that's what I do.
Simon, can you just explain what the challenge is that you're taking part in?
So the challenge is a challenge I set myself as a fundraiser for our local mental health charity. And I set myself a challenge of trying to raise £10,000. If I just rewind, during the pandemic last year, as a profession, we were shut down for 11, 12 weeks. And whilst we still had to answer the phone and triage patients and help them out, it was still a difficult time where we couldn't actually help them properly. We could do minimal intervention, but there was nothing really tangible unless they had a real problem and they had to go off to the COVID clinics as such. Now, alongside me, so I was answering the phones at home. My wife worked for the mental health charity. They were working throughout this, but remotely, but the demands for their services were escalating at a time when all their fundraising was depleting. So they were having a massive imbalance of not being able to keep up with demand. And that's still the case at the moment. So I believe in taking part in life and helping others out. And so I wanted to do something as a challenge to raise money for them. So I set myself a physical challenge, which came together over sort of about 6 weeks, just thinking about it until I came up with the solution that I wanted to do. So that's what I did. And in a second, I'll describe what I'll do if you want me to. Clearly.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know part of what you're doing. So yeah. If you want to explain it and why and how you.
Yeah. Okay. So the thought, and there are lots of fundraising opportunities out there, and people fundraising at many opportunities. But in order to make it something different, and we're sponsoring, I felt I needed to take myself out of my comfort zone and do something quite topical and of the moment as such. So I decided to take on a 350-kilometer off-road cycle challenge, doing King Alfred's Way, and I've actually done that bit, and I'll come back to that in a second. Then to do a 10-mile Tough Mudder with a salt course attached to it. And the common thread joining the two together, and this ties in with work, is I'm going to do it in my full work PPE. So that's my full surgical gown and the FP3 mask as well. So quite topical, a little bit potty. And I've called it the Positively Potty Experience for Vine. And Vine Counselling is the charity, and the Positively Potty Experience is the PPE aspect of our work. So there we go.
Okay, so you mentioned you've done a bit of it. We'll circle back round to that. But what made you came up with the cycling and running? Why did you settle on those? And a physical activity? Why did you settle on that as an idea?
Well, because our jobs are quite sedentary, we're sitting all day long, we're concentrating. For me to get outside and do some physical activity is very important. It's good for me physically, but also it helps me with my mental capacity to recharge at the end of the day. So I'm always looking for something physical, but I'm quite happy to take myself out of my norm, if you see what I mean in that respect. So the cycling, my sister, originally I was going to cycle down to South France. The charity is called Vine. My sister lives in Bordeaux in the wine region, so I was going to cycle to the vines for Vine. It was 500 miles in 5 days, and I thought that'd be a great challenge. But obviously COVID put an end to that, so I was looking for something close to home. And then there's a circular cycle network that's been set up called King Alfred's Way, and it's a circular 350-kilometer cycle, roughly from Swindon round to Reading, down to Fleet, down to Petersfield, Winchester, Salisbury, and back up Salisbury Plain that way. And it's all off-road. And I don't do any off-road cycling, so I thought I would take on the challenge. And so that's why the cycling aspect came into it. And I did that over 3 days. So that was hard. It was the 3 hottest days of the year we had up to that point. And I did it in the full PPE. First day I was just elated to get to the start point and realized that I was actually going to be able to do it. Second day was jolly hot, and we were without water for quite a while, and there was an element of sunstroke possibly creeping in, but we finished the day And then third day was just elation that I knew I was just going to finish it off. So it was good. But I was carried along by, I had a lot of support. I did it with a friend, but the support in the background were my team at work, the charity itself, being able to help others. And it was just fantastic. It was uplifting, even though it was very hard.
And the PPE obviously is difficult. It makes things hotter. Does it make it difficult to breathe?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's quite ironic because we spend our all day dreaming of getting out of PPE and going back to some sense of normality. So to actually physically up your game and wear the PPE, yeah, it's very hot wearing that mask because you're just breathing in hot air all the time. Now, my girls at work have set up a Instagram account, and I've done little clips and videos. And one of those videos is me cycling up one of the hills, and then I take my mask off, and you can see the perspiration coming off from my mask. Now, I've had to adapt the mask because these are obviously there to protect us from the virus and not passing things on. So they're airtight. You can't cycle in an airtight mask. So with my mask, I put little air vents at the bottom, which I'm not sure you can see terribly clearly. And then with these filters, I've had to take out the paper element, the physical filter, so that at least I can get some oxygen in. Otherwise, it would have been jolly difficult. I sweated buckets. And I have to say, full PPE is a great sunblock.
Can you just talk us through the training that involved? I mean, you're still training now for the Tough Mudder, but
I am. So the training for the cycle aspect is just putting in the hard miles of going out there. I do a lot of I do some road cycling, but I don't do any off road. So it was a case of adapting, getting on my mountain bike, and then finding a gravel bike that I could do the event on. And it was just getting those miles in. That's all it was. I did a couple of sessions with my PP for half an hour and realized that was going to be tricky. And again, that's documented on the Instagram thing the girls have done for me at work. But really, I just had to get on with it and make it happen. So it was physically putting the miles in. The cycling I was really looking forward to. Now, I'm not a runner by any means. And so the next part of it, which is the 10-mile Tough Mudder with a salt course, that's going to be physically demanding, but mentally taxing. You know, there's plenty of mud, there's ice cold water, there's electrocution elements, all of that. And I don't run, so to turn my body from a cycling physique into having something of an upper body and then some running legs, I'm finding that more of a challenge because the scenery doesn't change quick enough for me.
Yeah, fair enough. And what other? Because I mean, obviously there's running, but like you mentioned, it is quite a physical challenge, the Tough Mudder. So, are you doing any kind of training on your upper body? I
am. So I'm doing some weight-based online classes a couple of times a week in a hope that I might turn into something of a Popeye, but it's a long shot.
Okay, and you mentioned you're raising money for Vine. What is your overall target? What do you hope to achieve?
Vine's a local charity to us, and they're a non-profit making organisation there to help the community. And I would like to be able to raise 10 grand for them because that will make a massive difference to their functioning and the people they help out as well. Because the demand for their services and every aspect of mental health services is growing exponentially at a time when those opportunities to raise money are slim. So I'd like to raise 10,000 if I can. And as of yesterday, I'm up to just over £6,000, which is great. That's good. A little bit of a kick and a push, and I'd like to think that we should get there.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So when do you do the Tough Mudder? When's the next stage?
So that's Saturday, the 21st of August. So I've got about 9 weeks to go for that.
And how?
So I'm slowly turning the body around.
And how can people follow you and donate if they want to donate?
Okay, so there are two ways that they can follow me or donate. If they'd like to follow me on Instagram, then my girls at work have set up like a timeline of me training. I've even got a TikTok presence, which I never thought I'd have. So I've given them my time. I've trusted them with my time, and I've been game for a laugh as such. So they can follow me that, and that's the Instagram account is Positively Potty Experience. Okay, so that's Positively Potty Experience. If you'd like to donate to the cause, and that would be fantastic, then I have a Virgin Money giving page, and if you type on virginmoney.com and then you go into the search aspect, if you type in Positively Potty Experience, it'll come up with Simon Robertson, me on my mountain bike in my full PPE. Click on that, and then it can go through my story and ways that you can help and donate. And that would be a lovely thing to do for people if they could.